Hi dear friends, today we are going to talk about IELTS course structure and the IELTS exam structure itself. Let's first of all start with the exam structure. IELTS consists of 4 parts: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The listening part consists of 4 parts. There are 40 questions or items in total in each part. Logically, there are 10 questions. And you can see that the listening test takes around 30 minutes. The reading part consists of 40 questions, and there are 3 reading passages that you need to read and answer 40 questions. So for each reading passage, you will, let's say, you'll have around 13 to 14 questions. And there is a writing part that consists of 2 tasks, writing task 1 and writing task 2. If you take the academic module, the writing part will offer you 1 chart and 1 essay. If you take the general training writing, you will take 1 letter in writing task 1 and 1 writing task 2 essay. So, academic IELTS is necessary for those who plan to study abroad, and general training IELTS is necessary for those who plan to work or migrate in English-speaking countries. The speaking test is the tete-a-tete, face-to-face exam, and it takes around 11 to 14 minutes. So, our course structure consists of 9 weeks, and every week we will focus on every section. So you will have 1 listening and reading class, you will have 1 writing and speaking class, you will have 1 writing and homework class. So in the listening and reading class, you will focus on listening and reading strategies. During the writing and speaking class, you will focus on writing task 1 and speaking strategies. During the writing and homework class, however, you will focus on writing task 2 and writing task 1, and we will control your homework, discuss your problems. You will also have the individual speaking. It will take around 15 minutes, and it will be the same as the exam format speaking, okay? So as to make you prepared for the exam. The classes include both theoretical part. It means that you will study strategies, you will develop your vocabulary, understanding of words, sentences, structures, and the practical part where we will practice doing exercises together. So you can see the reading and listening class schedule and curriculum, and you can see from week 1 to week 9 what you are going to have. You can join on every week, so there is no requirement that you need to join from the week 1. So if you plan to join, let's say, from the week 4, you will continue till the week 9, and then you will come to the week 1, 2, and 3. And this video will help you understand the concepts of IELTS. The same is for reading, you see. So there is also the writing speaking class, and it's this curriculum. Okay, so you can see that we can clearly see the writing and speaking portions and what we are going to discuss every week. So and this is this is the writing and homework class where we'll discuss writing and homework exam strategies. So let's now turn to the listening section. Listening consists of 4 parts, 10 items or 10 questions in each part, and there are 40 questions in total. In general, we can see that there are 5 main question types. These are fill in the gaps questions, like fill in the blanks. This may be multiple choice questions, like 3 questions and you need to choose 1 correct. Multiple selection questions, a question with 5 answers and you need to choose 2 correct ones. Matching information from boxes, when you need to fill in the information using from boxes. Match information from boxes. And maps. You need to locate some information or places on maps. And you can see, let's say, the first part, second part, third part, fourth part. So in the first part, it's a general dialogue, especially filling in the form, like you call some agency or you register somewhere. So you fill in the form. The second part is the description of some place or some new change on roads or in some public places. In the third part, it's an academic lecture. Discussion. This discussion or dialogue may be between two students and their professors, and so on. In the fourth part, you can see the lecture, the monologue, and in each part, you'll have 10 questions, 10 items, and the first part is considered to be the easiest one, and the last part is the most difficult one. You can take IELTS on computer and paper, and we will have a specific video for you to choose which exam format is more suitable for you. Okay, now let's turn to the second part. It is reading. Reading consists of, again, 40 questions. You have 60 minutes to answer these 40 questions, and there are 3 passages. These 40 questions are divided into these 3 passages. So let's say in the first passage you'll have 13 questions, in the second 13, and for the last one you'll have 14 questions. There are 8 types of questions for the reading passage. So generally you will have one passage, and after it you will have 2 or 3 exercises. So for example, you may have the passage which is around 900 to 1400 words long. So and you can see that first, second, third, so you will have different exercises. True, false, not given, fill in the gaps, matching headings to paragraphs, matching statements to paragraphs, where you need to find suitable statements for suitable paragraphs, matching information to authors or specific groups, multiple choice questions, well, you choose one correct answer out of 4, or multiple selection questions, when you choose 2 correct answers out of 5 or out of 6. Completing sentences by selecting key information, filling the gaps from selected word in boxes. Writing consists of 2 tasks, task 1 and task 2. Task 1 is discussed during the writing speaking class, and task 2 is discussed during the writing class. So for task 1 we will have different charts, diagrams, and for task 1 academic, for task 1 general we'll have letters. And you can see different tasks, different task types. Let's say line graph, table, bar chart, pie chart, mix chart, map, process chart, and flow chart. These are the most common types of exam writing. So, and task 1 types, and you won't see any other type on your exam. Task 1 is more popular, is less important than task 2. Task 1 requires that you write just 150 words, and task 2 requires that you write just 250 words. It means that task 2 is a bit more important, and I can actually say twice as important as task 1. So if you, let's say, get 7 from task 2 and 6.5 from task 1, of course you are likely to get 7 from the overall writing than 6.5. So the score of task 2 is more important, but it doesn't mean that you need to ignore task 1. Task 2 types, task 2 is the essay, and you can see, so there are different question types, like direct question essays, when you can see just 1 question, double question essays, when there are 2 questions, you can see agree, disagree questions, like do you agree or disagree. You can see best way questions, when there is a topic regarding the best way, the most suitable way, and do you agree that this is the most suitable way. What is your opinion questions, discuss both views and give your opinion questions, is the positive or negative development questions, advantages, we discuss benefit and drawbacks, or do advantages outweigh advantages, and so on. And problem solution, cause solution essays, so you are asked to discuss problems and solutions, causes and solutions, and so on. Writing is assessed according to these four criteria: task response, coherence, cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. Just in short, task response is something that assesses your level of explanation of, let's say, how well you explain, how well you respond to the topic, or in task one, how well you analyze the topic. Coherence, cohesion, it is like the structure of your let's say of your essay, and how well structured and how clear your sentences are. Lexical resource is actually good usage of vocabulary, appropriate words, not overusing unnecessary words, using words appropriately, and so on, following the formal style of writing. And grammatical range and accuracy is grammar, using a mixture of the mixture of complex and simple sentences, avoiding grammatical mistakes, and so on. And finally, we have the speaking test. So speaking is a face-to-face exam, and it actually consists of three parts: part 1, part 2, and part 3. So for daily topics, part 1 and part 3 are dialogues, and part 2 is the monologue. So in part 1, the examiner can ask you different questions. Let's say they may ask you about your home, education, handwriting, hobbies, interests, studies, and so on. It's an informal dialogue. In part 2, you are given a topic. For example, describe a place you like. For example, you have 1 minute to prepare and 1 to 2 minutes to speak. This is a monologue. And in part 3, you are going to answer questions regarding the topic in part 2. For example, if you describe a very good place, in part 3 you are going to answer what type of let's say places you visit, questions about parks, different facilities, and so on. Speaking is also assessed according to 4 criteria. It's fluency and coherence, pronunciation, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. Of course, you know the role of lexical resource and grammatical range and accuracy. We have actually explained. Fluency and coherence is how fluent you are. Can you speak at length? Is it possible to understand your words, pauses? Do you have some stress on words, intonation, and so on? Of course, it also affects the pronunciation part as well, because do you pronounce words correctly? Do you use some contraction, stress, intonation, and so on? So showing awareness of them is very important. And the speaking test is also assessed according to scale 9 scale. So it's assessed from 0 to 9, and in total you will get the average of 4 sections. For example, if you get 7 and 7 from listening and reading, and if you get, let's say, 7.5 from writing and speaking, your average will be, your overall score will be 7.5, because 7 plus 7 plus 7.5 plus 7.5 will be around 7.25, and if we round it, we will get the result of 7.5. So it means that it is very important to get a good score from sections in order to get a higher score. You can focus only on one section, particularly, for example, on listening, and you can get the maximum from listening, or you can focus on all sections and get the approximately the same result from every section and get a good overall score. Of course, try to focus on each section and get the high result. So I hope that I have explained the structure of IELTS clearly, and if you have questions, feel free to ask me or our teachers. Thank you. See you.